Hey. All right, we're just kicking it off here. Monday morning. Woo. Can you feel it? What do you feel? I'm feeling it. It's been a rough, emotional weekend. I don't know how everyone's felt. How was your weekend? Even though none of us really want to be on a grid called a weekend or a week, but how do you feel? Welcome to the Obsidian Blade Medicine Hour. It is the process, the show. This is how we do it. This is how we do it. That's what was kicking in my head. Is that Boys to Men? I don't know who said that. This is how we do it. So, welcome Shift Crew Empath Nation to the Obsidian Blade Medicine Hour. If you're catching this live on the replay, I am so grateful that you are here, whether it's Instagram Live, YouTube Live, as we discuss all things Shift, New Earth, and reclaiming your power as a creator. And that's where I want to begin. So here we are, Monday. I'm just checking in with you all. This really is about going with the flow. This, for me, this mission of the Obsidian Blade Live is just being here for you as well to check in with me. And again, I was just saying it's been kind of an emotional weekend. I feel like with this new moon, right, as expected, things are coming up. Things are coming up in your life to get cleared. Where we can find out where we're holding ourselves back, where we are, holding on to, sometimes emotional baggage. We're holding on to worry. We're holding on to a concept of ourself that's not feeling good in our body. And, look, when the new moon happens, that's the kickoff. Not everything happens on the new moon. We're in process. So I'd love to hear from you. Did anything come up in the past few days? And how does it feel? So with that, self-love. Really, this is a process of non-judgment, non-attachment, self-love to what is coming up. And to acknowledge you're on a mission. You're on a mission to not only be who you authentically are, but you're also on a mission to represent something that is good in the world, to represent something that could be termed a beacon of light, to be a model for what's possible in a world that is doing better at recognizing or sharing what's possible, but still there's a commercial aspect to it, right? Like, be all that you can be in this t-shirt. Think all you can think with this pill. There's still always this drive for commercialism and, God bless, the economy. But really, we're here to, and as an extension of the earth, and what we do for ourselves, we not only do for others, but we're doing for the world. And to understand that all our intelligences and our hearts are connected. Yeah, you were feeling lost this weekend, but you feel more energized today. That's good. That's really, really good. Yeah, I feel more energized. I feel I'm back on now that it's Monday. It's funny. I have a good relationship with Monday. But really, let's dive into manifestation. Let's dive into being who you really are. Because again, we're clearing the debris. We're clearing the emotional attachments to old identities, the ways we were trained, how the world works. And, one of the things I'm examining in myself is, do I hold myself back from not only representing who I am in the world, but do I hold myself back from wanting what I want because there's a fear of disappointment? And we look at disappointment. We look at the root of disappointment. Where does it come from? What did we typically, we were in a high asking mode when we were younger. And we probably heard the word no a lot when we were younger. Um, and sometimes that comes with a parental situation where no, maybe the legit answer, like your parents were like, no, I can't give you that. But it didn't come with, here's the reason why I'm saying no. And so there can be the answer of no, and here's why, or an answer of no at a denial of what you're feeling or a denial of what you're sensing or desiring. And so that parent can shut down, or you can shut down due to your parents' responses to your requests. Of course, every request is not going to work for the other person in your life. And that's why they say no. But if they say no with a reason why or a better understanding why, then you're at least not being denied that your desires are real. Your desires are true and authentic. They just might not happen at that time, or the timing of them might not be correct. And so, it's funny. I know I bring up childhood a lot, and you're like, does this guy, what's up? Does this guy have childhood issues? And I think we all have childhood issues because, and that's not to remain a child, but I bring it up a lot because most of your subconscious programming, which handles 95% of all your decision making right now, happened through ages 0 through 6. Massive amounts, 95% of your subconscious programming happened through ages 0 through 6. So yes, it's very important. It's very important to go, okay, and not to judge yourself. I'm handling, I'm 46 and I'm still handling a lot of subconscious patterns that were generated ages 0 through 6. And those are the darkest parts of ourselves, hence subconscious. And we need to have a way of communicating with them, right? So, do we hold ourselves back? Do you hold yourself back because of a fear of disappointment, or that you have trained yourself to feel that your feelings, intuition, and desires are not legitimate? And what's even worse is that we stay in that mode of where we still think that we need to negotiate with someone else outside of us to legitimize what we feel is true inside of us or what we want, right? Do you notice in yourself, do you get into a space where you're having to negotiate your power with somebody else? Now, that somebody else can be your partner, it can be a parent, but most often who you're negotiating with is a photocopy of an authority inside your mind, inside your subconscious. It's like you and me, we self-police ourselves quite effectively. Like we learn the ropes of how to, be here in the world through our parents who are saying, yes, you can have this. No, you can't have that. And then after a while, the parents leave the equation and we self-parent. But our model of our self-parent might not be in alignment with who we really are. Oh, the mindful healer, you want to jump on? All right, let's do this. I haven't done this. I'll go live with you. Even though I'm on YouTube Live, we're going live on Instagram Live. Seeing what you have to say. But yeah, hi. I don't know if I can hear you. Is your volume on? Yeah, I can't hear you, but I hope that's not me. If everybody can hear me, let me jump back and see if that audio thing is going on. But yes, Namaste Mimi sometimes is an example of what not to be, exactly. But we don't know that. That's the intense thing of being young. We don't know better. And if you've ever been raised by narcissistic parents who are, absorbed in their world, sometimes children are forced to become adults at the denial of their true wildness, and we learn to cut off our wildness. That's really something I've written down here I want to talk about. And when we cut off our wildness, we actually become manipulative. We learn that we need to negotiate with others. We're trained to negotiate with others for what we want. And through that negotiation, we actually learn a lot of manipulation techniques. There's a lot to expose there. And we see where those manipulation techniques come back up again, because they come back up again in relationships. Everything's a relationship. You have a relationship with source, you have a relationship with the planet, you have a relationship with the people in our life or in your lives, and just looking at what you're saying, Jeff, when we're on our own, we need to release most of our judgments that our parents have put upon us and love ourselves for genuinely who we are. And yes, we need to love ourselves for who we genuinely are. But who are we genuinely? Who are we genuinely when we're tempted so often to keep the manipulation program in place, or the belief that we need to manipulate another to get what we want? And what's even worse, like I said, the belief that we can't show up as we are, because we've been shown as we are, showing up as we are in our wildness doesn't fit in with other people. In our small little childhood world, that was our parents, two people or our siblings, maybe a small family or, little community. Now, the reality is, of course, what we want doesn't work for everyone. That's just reality. And we accept that as adults. We accept that. That's cool. We can roll with that. We communicate with that. Like, oh, cool. You're not a match to what I want. But at least we're saying who we truly are. We're communicating who we truly are. And we're not compromising that because of a fear of rejection. And we're not compromising who we really are because we're continuing to use some manipulation technique to get what we want. And that's a denial. That's such a root denial of who you really are. Are you even denying within your own body who you are? Let me just try the mindful healer one more time. Let's see if we can hear you. Oh, I hear audio. Hi. Oh, I don't hear it. Damn it. Why is the audio not coming through? I have no idea. I'm sorry, love. Yeah. Can you hear me? Mwah, much love. Let's figure that out. I'd love to hear from you and to hear what you say. If anybody else wants to jump on, has a question, please type it in or jump on the live and we can do interaction. That sucks. Or hopefully that's not on my end, or that you can hear me. But yeah, pruning ourselves, pruning our wildness to fit in. Of course, there's a certain amount. I don't know. I mean, let's take that to the fullest level. We've been socialized, right? We learn how to get along in a group. That has its advantages, right? Belonging to a group means survival. It means being seen and heard. So we learn how to communicate so that we're seen and heard, and that we create bonds, right? We don't thrust our wildness out there to a point of like, this is me, and if you don't like it, fuck off. We learn a certain amount of compromise so that we can actually connect with others, right? There is a middle ground because we are all actually infinitely diverse. So we do search for that middle ground, but also, where in your life are you trimming back your wildness? And what does it look like to be somewhat uncompromising in that wildness. And, check in with yourself. Who do you think you would offend first if you were truly wild? Who would you lose? Who are the people in your life that you would lose if you were fully, fully wild? And would that be okay? Would those people be worth losing or not hanging out with so much if you were fully in your wildness? And yes, the first people to go are like, parents and strangers. Are you willing to let go of this idealism that we had around our parents? We got the parents that we got. Some people would say that's due to karma. And you get the lessons that you signed up for pre-incarnation. But yeah, strangers and parents are kind of the first people to go. Professional connections. Yep. There is a fuck ton of compromise in the workplace. And that's what I wanted actually to tag on is that, look at where we live now. With one cell phone, you can have a career being who you really are. If you own a smartphone, we live in an age where people can create a career being exactly who they are. That's amazing. Look how we've come. Look where we live. That's some serious liberation, some serious privileged liberation if we take advantage of it. And again, that means becoming brave. That means embracing who you really are and not snipping back or pruning your wildness and realizing, hey, you may only connect with 10 people being who you really are, but those 10 people are going to love the fuck out of you because you love the fuck out of them because you're actually being who you really are, and you can see it. Your tribe when you see them, when you meet them, you're not holding back. You're like, I can breathe, but we first connect that, those dots inside of us. So again, take advantage of the time you live in right now, with a smartphone. You just need a smartphone and you can be incredibly wise and in alignment with who you truly are. And that's what the world needs right now. We are looking for our wildness. And look at who we celebrate in this culture. We celebrate people who are in touch with themselves. And may I encourage you to do the same. And that part of that boldness, I wrote this down. You are not a search term, right? That's part of the quest as we're going into this is that you're not a search term. Like you can't, yes, we have everything on the internet that you could possibly imagine, and there's more coming, and you are the more that is coming, which sounds like you're having an orgasm being who you really are. So I hope you're coming being who you are. So you're not a search term, but you've got to find yourself, search within yourself. And that's the process of discovery to really erase any auditing and limitations that you're putting on yourself right now so that you can discover how far you can really, really, really go. I've just been diving into this. I just want to say, hey, if you're new to this channel, if you're new to the Obsidian Blade, welcome. Here's what we do as empaths, healers, creators, blossoming into our full abilities. We're navigating the exit of the crumbling matrix system, aka the land of the dead. And through the exploration and cleansing of your shadow side, we're coming back online to life and becoming the shift to live in your full power on New Earth in the light of the sixth sun star system. I've got the maps. We are the crew. Let's do this. So what else do we got going on? Really, your future, my future, this is about permission. This is about permission. Permission to entertain possibilities. What's up, coffee? Permission to entertain possibilities and to entertain possibilities in a way we have never, ever approached them before. That means new contexts. That means new societies. That means new cultural programming. And to have new cultural programming, of course, you've just got to let go of, yes, I'm on YouTube right now. You have to let go of, again, the way you've been trained, the way you've been socialized. These are boxes that did work, but we can see the limitations and the frustrations with those boxes. That's why people are rising up. People are saying, fuck the boxes. That's really what any protest right now is about, is fucktheboxes.com. You're needing to let go of the way it's been handed to you. Thanks, society. Thanks for handing me a context. Now we can let that go because we're creator beings. So the future is really about permission, and this permission to entertain possibilities and remembering, okay, well, we're creators and we're manifestors. We manifest and chill, right? And it ain't no big thing. This is what we do. And we get back in touch with that being very much a flow state because we've done that childhood subconscious work where we're like, I don't have to prune back my wildness. My feelings are legitimate. I can choose different. And through the entertaining within my body first, within my mind and my body as connected to the spirit, when I'm holding that vibration on a deep, deep level of resonance and knowing what that feels like because I've created a home for it first in my body, then, you know, as manifestors, we're going to see results. We're going to see results because we've chosen different in an infinite universe. You know, we are giving that gift to ourselves. And what's amazing, you know, I say this a lot. I love this phrase. I came up with it in the 90s. Technology, right? A lot of people complain about technology. Oh, it's ruining us. Technology, as it's been said, exposes who we really are. Technology is a third dimensional crutch for a fifth dimensional reality. So what do we use a crutch for, right? If you have a broken wing or a broken leg, you use a crutch in order to remember and heal, to have some support as you grow strong again and heal or fix or mend your old ways, right? So technology is like that. Technology is helping us remember who we are. But once you've remembered who you are, you can get rid of the crutch. You can get rid of the cast because you've got your healing. You got your strength back, right? So look at what we're doing. This is very psychic energy that we've got going on here. I'm telecommunicating with you like this. You having a vision. You are having a vision of me, and I am having a vision of you through this technology. Hey, love, thank you. So we're sharing a vision, right? That's a very psychic ability. I want to kick this down to you. Where's the book? Actually, this is a teacher I studied with back in the 90s, Hun. He's a Mayan elder. He's very old now. I think he's in his late 80s, if not 90s. But Hun, he trained me in this basic understanding of Mayan letters. So you have te in Mayan means tree. And then you have le, which means leaf. So what do we have when we talk on the phone? Remember the phone, this thing? We have a telephone, right? Before we called them smartphones, we had actual physical phones. They're called telephones. So telephone means tree to leaf communication. Television, right? Tree to leaf vision, right? So we've continued television and telephone into our, smartphone, but that's the origins. It's interesting of that word, that there is the tree of life and we're all leaves on this tree of life and we're communicating. The leaves are, photosynthesizing and sending, nutrients and information through the branches to the trunk, to the roots, as we also continue to reach for the heavens in our growth. And so we are all individually, we're all leaves on the great tree, telecommunicating with one another. And that's what we're doing here. So again, third dimensional technology is a fifth dimensional reality. At some point, we will let go of this technology, just as meditation is a crutch. Meditation is actually just a rehabilitation tool. Did you know that? And at a certain point, it's something that you can be hooked on and attached to as something that might block you from recognizing your inherent peace, your inherent psychic abilities, your inherent alignment, right? Meditation is amazing. And like I hammered on Friday, you need to be doing it an hour a day. But at a certain point, you don't need to heal. You don't need to meditate. You are good. You're on, and you will know when you're on, you know? But again, just like technology, meditation is a crutch, and it will be let go of at a certain point. Just remember that. Just know that you know, the hardcore, you know, Buddhist would be like, if you think you're a meditator, then that's an identity and you want to cleanse that. I'm not opposed to identities. I love identities when you can become playful with them. So again, you know, here on the Today Show, here on the Now Show, you know, we're talking about manifesting and chilling in your natural power, and that the future is about the permission that you entertain once you've done a lot of cleansing and cleaning of the subconscious. So again, you know, the big three that I hold, you know, and continue to talk about is, what are we? We're creators. Where are we? We're on the material plane in a relationship with the Mother Earth. And who are we is the creative act of those two things. You as a creator here on the material plane connected to source equals who you are through the experiences and mindsets you're choosing through your attention, and then the inspired action that you're taking through the focus of your mind. So what are we? Where are we? And who are we is the juggling act that we've got going on here. And to pay attention. Look, if you're disappointed with what's going on, you've got to get real with yourself. If you're disappointed with what's going on in your life, you've got to get real with yourself, because your reality and your actions do not betray your thinking. They are one and the same. Now, you may have been thrust into a scenario, a situation, a living experience that wasn't your choice. That's true too. You can be swept up. There are other larger powers here that you can be swept up in. That's legit. You know, you can't, yes, you take responsibility for everything, but understand there are larger powers going on here, especially when groups of people adopt a particular mindset that has mass. We're on the physical plane, so never forget physics. Mass equals momentum. So you can be swept up in another person's reality if they have a greater focus of power than you. This is why if you don't focus on who you really are, you will be focused. Someone else will focus upon you and sweep you up into their reality. That's one to write down. If you do not know yourself, you will be swept up in someone else's reality if they have a stronger point of focus than you. But if you're disappointed with your reality, remember, your actions and your thinking, you know, they're one and the same. Your reality does not betray your thinking. It's very accurate. So if you don't like what's going on, take that accuracy. Don't be victimized by it, but take that accuracy of your living experience right now and your emotional state as legitimate, right? We know that people suffer when they push down what they're feeling. You push down what you're feeling enough, you get disease. And we all know what those diseases look like, right? There's any number of things that the Western medicine people are trying to figure out how to heal, when you can heal them immediately if you stop suppressing the accuracy of your feelings. it may not feel good, but it's 100% legit. And so we have to become connected to what we're thinking and experiencing and feeling as very accurate. And if you don't like it, though, then you can change it, and you will change it. Your current participation is accurate. Do not deny that. But we know the process, right? We sit down, we go, okay, I'm having a blast of contrast. That's what's going on. If it doesn't feel good right now, I'm having a blast of contrast. And so what do we do with contrast? We take it for what it is. It's saying, this doesn't feel good. Okay, if this doesn't feel good, whatever this is, what would feel better? And here's a very crucial part. When we do that examination of what would feel better, notice, where are you compromising? If you are compromising yourself within you, because within you is the sacred space. And if you compromise the sacred space, the holy union of your own truth, then what the fuck do you think you're going to get on the outside of you? What do you think is going to manifest, right? So when we have a blast of contrast, we sit down and we examine, what would I really like? And what would I really like with zero negotiation with others? What would I really like when I give myself absolute permission to feel what true abundance feels like, without stepping into the how it's going to happen? Because if you get into how, you start getting into negotiations. When you start getting into how, you start getting into compromise, because you're thinking, well, I have to take this inspiration and cram it in there. No cramming, no adjusting. This is you learning to re-trust yourself that you can be wild and you don't have to manipulate anybody, including yourself, to get what you want. You don't have to negotiate with someone else to get what you want, and you don't have to limit your wildness, because in the past, when you were a child, you were shown that your wildness didn't fit in. But reclaim that wildness, and to be in tune with how good it feels to stop limiting yourself within yourself. Because there's enough people complaining that the outside world is limiting them. We got enough people right now complaining that the government's pushing them down, or this person over there is pushing me down. We got to handle that and realize we're the only ones who can push ourselves down in the end. Now, of course, there are larger forces at work here who do oppress. There are larger forces at work here that do oppress, and we have to handle those. But on the more day-to-day individual level, there is so much more you can take responsibility for. And we do that. We do that so that when we have to confront these larger forces of oppression, at least we're not oppressing ourselves first. At least we're not oppressing ourselves first. We found liberation. Nobody has the ticket to that except you. And therefore, give it to yourself sooner than later. And to love yourself so much where you're not holding any old pattern of where you held back who you really are because you thought, if I show up fully, it's going to get rejected. We all need to show up fully and lose people. You need to be okay with that. We need to show up fully and lose people, because those aren't your people. If they bail on who you really are, or they complain, or they don't feel comfortable when you fully express yourself, those are not your people. It's time for them to leave. Because you compromising yourself, no. I mean, the only time you're compromising is when you have someone in your life that says, I want to work with you. Let's find that middle ground. Let's find that workability. Those are the people that you may not be expressing yourself fully to, but you could. and they're ready for it. They're ready to work with how that makes them feel, and they're ready to grow. Those are the good people that you need in your life. You need the people who are ready to grow because you're ready to grow. You know? So honor what you are. Know where you are, and love who you are, as that is an ever-changing, expanding process. And we are waking up to the reality of how to cleanse our own programming, both on the DNA level and both on the social programming level. And to lighten our load. That would be the essence of the word enlighten, right? To bring in more light means exposure to the dark. And to also lighten your load of all the compromise that you could be holding in your body right now. Which reminds me, I actually recorded it over the weekend. I'm going to put it on IGTV because I did it in the vertical. I'll post it on IGTV later today, but it's called You Can See in the Dark Now. And I dive into, that's really an energy update with the new moon. So look for that later this afternoon or just in an hour from now. I'll post it. It's on IGTV. It's called You Can See in the Dark Now. And I look forward to you checking that out. So yeah, where do you, let me ask you right now, where do you fear being misinterpreted in your own life? And with whom? And where are you trimming back your wildness? Where are you not being brave? And where are you not loving yourself? Where are you not loving your possibilities? And where are you compromising your possibilities before they've even manifested? It's really crucial. Do you have internal mental infrastructure that says no to yourself? It's just fucked up. Shadow vision. Love it. Hashtag shadow vision. Absolutely. I'm down. We can see in the dark now, by the way, kids. We can see in the dark now. Check out that video when I post it. So, find the people, lose people, and find people. Be okay with that process. There's nothing that you have to do right now today to be loved. There's no negotiation. There's no manipulation. There's no pruning back of your wildness in order to be loved today. And that love, of course, starts with ourselves. There's no one to please. There's nothing to fix in order to be loved today. There's really not. And I know all of us have been trained like that we had to please our parents. We had to be nice. We had to be social in order to get along and get the love and get the attention. Be wild and understand again that there's nothing to fix in yourself. There's nothing to do. There's no persona that you need to project into the world in order to feel and receive love. And if you've got people in your life who are forcing you through their filter, then that may be too much of a compromise for who you really are. Yes, people in our lives have needs. And we find within ourselves, can I meet their needs? Is their needs in alignment with how I love to show up and how I love to give? Or do I even have the tools and the equipment to serve this person in my life who's asking me to show up in this way? There's a healthy way of requesting that. People can request in healthy ways. Yes. And, but you don't need to do anything in order to be loved. There's nothing to fix. There's no persona that you need to adopt. There's nothing like that. You are enough. And it's time we tap into enoughness, completeness, fullness. It's time for us to have that relationship that we acknowledge that we are functioning. We work. You're a human being. You're alive. You work. You actually, your existence is proof that you're working. You function as a creator. It's just about cleaning up our act so that we're not continuing to facilitate and fund old projects that we are just dissatisfied with. Remember, your actions do not betray your thinking. Your reality does not betray your thinking. Your feelings do not betray your thinking. They are accurate. If you don't like them, if you're having the blast of contrast, like I was saying earlier, go within and find is what's going to make you happy, and know that you're going to get it by being really authentic to yourself and who you really, really are. So just want to say, if you are here on YouTube Live, please give this video a thumbs up. If you like this video, helps other people find it, and hit that subscribe button along with the notifications bell. I'm going live here on Instagram and YouTube Live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 a.m. PST. And of course, both of these, well, on Instagram Live, it'll be just live for 24 hours. If you click the link in my bio, you can see all these videos on YouTube. They're going to live forever. And also the podcast. I take the audio from these YouTube Lives and Instagram Lives, and I strip them down, clean them up, and put them up on the podcast, which is available on Google Play, iTunes, and Stitcher. And if you want to find the link to that, that's in the bio or underneath this video. Or you can go to theobsidianblade.com/subscribe. And yeah, I just want to hear back from you all right now. Anybody have any questions? I've just been talking a lot about feeling and you know, what the future is. The future right now is about permission inside of your body. Again, if you have any feelings or questions you want to share right now, you know, this is all coming up because of the new moon. And it's time. If we want a different world, who's responsible for that? You are. You know, that bumper sticker being the change you seek is not a lie. And how wonderful it is. Yay. Thank you, Jojo. Little Hawk Midnight. You know, how wonderful that is, that you can arrive on New Earth right now. You can arrive in the good feelings you're seeking right now. And in the state of manifest and chill, yes, we are already in the garden. And here we are growing into our full creatorhood. But just remember to stop manipulating yourself, because you were trained to manipulate. We have compassion. We were socialized. Ages 0 through 6 is the greatest age of our subconscious programming. And look what happened then. So discover how you were trained to prune back your light, prune back your wildness, and to negotiate and manipulate with others to get what you want. That's over. You don't need to manipulate people. You need to start losing people in your life and finding the right ones when you start finding yourself and loving this self and getting fucking comfortable in this skin. You know, ending the disassociation game where you're disembodied from your own body. This is how this works. Mind receives from spirit. When you empty this mind, it becomes empty vessel in order to receive inspiration and thinking and ideas. And then you take those ideas, and what happens through the nerve endings, right? The mind is connected to the body. So you have an emotion, you have a feeling to the vibration and the quality of your thinking. It's connected. The body is a biofeedback device that gives not only manifestation to your thinking, but feeling to your thinking. You know what you're thinking when you're feeling. That's it, having that connection. You know what you're thinking by the quality of your feeling. If you don't like what you're feeling, you got to change your thinking. And that's the relationship. but also to do that work where you're going within and discovering your subconscious thoughts and liberating those and allowing those to arise and have a space, and look, it's not always pretty. It's not always pretty. And to understand that when you discover these subconscious patterns, especially with your parents, it's not going to be pretty, and make that okay. At least you're communicating. We understand that when we communicate in an angry fashion or a violent fashion, it comes at a cost. It comes at a cost. It comes at a cost within us as to our good feeling and our well-being. And it comes at a cost to our relationships. When you speak abusively enough times to another person in anger or denial, it has a cost. There's a bank account, and that bank account gets depleted, because that other person's well-being is on the line. But again, when we make these discoveries within us, we can find out, it's going to be emotional, and make that okay. And make at least communicate. Like, hey, other person in my life, I'm about to fucking flip out. Maybe leave the room, or just brace yourself. I'm about to yell. I'm about to be real fucking angry because that shit sucked. And I'm going to explain it to myself by maybe yelling at another person or just yelling in general. And the more we can prep the people in our lives for the, intensity that's about to come out, then we can at least let our friends and our family and our partners know that, okay, I'm in process, and it's going to be a little ugly, and we're going to make ugly okay in this process. Ugly is part of that, thing, because we're unrepressing, we're unpacking the emotional TNT that was inside of us. And rage like that is an indicator of disappointment. So that's legit. You wanted something, you didn't get it, and then you're disappointed. And then and again, we were conditioned to think, oh, my needs weren't legit. When we had a parental figure or societal, idea in place that said no to who you are, without explaining that it didn't work for them at that time. You were said no, and you were denied your feelings. That was the double whammy that hit us typically in our childhood. We were told no, and then we weren't given an explanation, or we weren't, our feelings were not acknowledged, or our desires were not acknowledged. And so we just, again, turned inward and started to either shut down or get highly manipulative to get what we want. And what we did in that manipulation of others, our parents first, is that we mimicked them. We stopped being ourselves and we mimicked them. And what do you get in life when you mimic other people? You don't get who you really are. You have this idea always that who I am is not good enough, and I need to be less than who I am. I need to be less than my wildness, my ferocity, to get what I want. I need to be nice. How about, again, being wild is legit. So time to get wild, and find that self-love. Because we remember the big three. What we are, we're creators. We remember where we are. We're on the material plane as source in relationship with the Mother Earth. And we remember who we are, which is the creative act of being a creator, making things happen on the material plane, as inspired by boundless passion and infinite creativity. So if you need to hit replay on this video, we talked about a lot of things. There's a lot of things when we're getting into the manifest and chill state as our natural state of human beingness, and cleansing that programming and not denying your thoughts and your emotions as accurate representations of what your own thinking, and to get clean and to get wild and yeah, to end that training and to honor the age that we live in, that with a smartphone you can be wild and make your way in the world and make the connections that you need to make of people who really love you for you figuring out who you really are and showing up in your full light. And that's how we transform the planet. Love you so much, everyone. Again, I've got a IGTV video I'm going to post in about an hour called You Can See in the Dark Now, that talks about a lot of the new moon energy that we just got into and our new superpower that's going on. So check that out on IGTV. And again, if you're catching this on the replay or live, or I don't know, are we live or are we Memorex? This is on YouTube, so click the link to YouTube. If you want to subscribe, hit the notifications bell. Going live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 a.m. PST. The videos will live on forever on YouTube or 24 hours here on Instagram Live. And what a blast, kids. I love you so much. Empath Nation, Shift Crew, thank you for hanging with me on the Obsidian Blade Medicine Hour. We actually made it to an hour. And please send me any messages, DMs, questions on the video, below this video if you need. Let me know if you're finding your wildness. Love you so much, and I will catch you again on Wednesday. Ciao for now.